Welcome to The Record Show, your virtual spin around the vinyl industry. Brought to you by Radio Wasteland Records. Yes, Midland has a record store. Here's your host, Jim Gleason.
Greetings from the Wasteland and welcome to another edition of The Record Show. Our 50th episode by my count. That's no small feat, especially considering how busy it gets around here at the store. Nothing special planned to mark this 50th episode. I'm really still recovering from our 5th birthday activities all of last week. But if you're new to the channel, I really would recommend that you look for the playlist entitled The Record Show, which this is a part of, and back up and check out a lot of our previous content. We have spoken over the past year to a lot of great rock and rollers, primarily Michigan rock and rollers, but still some great artists nonetheless. The likes of Alice Cooper, Mark Farner, Suzi Quatro, Robert Lee Balderrama, and the late Jem Targil, among many more. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, the video with the most views on our channel so far is the full interview we did with Steve Gorman of the Black Crowes. So if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like us and comment on our videos, if you like what we're doing, by the way. And make sure you hit the notifications bell as well so you'll know whenever we put up new content. But we're getting up there on the subscribers, and any assistance or help on your end we could get would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay, on with today's show. We'll start off with a quick check of the new releases. Normally we'll check in with Ken Norton from Ingram Entertainment, but he cannot make it today, so I'm flying solo for this. Kind of a light week, but still some very cool stuff on the way to an independent record store near you this Friday. It's now the second to last week of the Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right campaign. And this week we get the Ramones and their Rocket to Russia release. Now this one is coming on clear vinyl, single LP, and it's for U.S. brick and mortar stores only. Rocket to Russia, by the way, one of my favorite Ramones albums. Got some cool stuff on there. Rockaway Beach, Sheena's a Punk Rocker, Teenage Lobotomy, and the Beach Boys cover Do You Want to Dance, and the second best cover of Surfin' Bird I've ever heard, Behind the Cramps, but that's all on the Ramones' Rocket to Russia. Also this week, as part of the Start Your Ear Off Right campaign, is Bad Company's Rock and Roll Fantasy. It's a compilation, the very best of Bad Company. This is a double LP, and it looks like it is coming on clear vinyl as well. Now, also this week, part of the Start Your Ear Off Right is a release from Quincy Jones. It's a soundtrack, and the various artists, Urban Cowboy, the original motion picture soundtrack on opaque blue vinyl. That's a tough one because normally you can find used copies of Urban Cowboy's soundtrack for $2 to $3. So, hey, looking ahead to next week, the wrap up of the Start Your Ear Off Right stuff. It's the Grateful Dead Fillmore West, recorded in 1969, a triple LP set coming from Rhino for that one. So something really, really cool to look forward to. New music this week from Debbie Gibson. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is an album titled The Body Remembers. And according to our description, this is a 14-song collection of a well-rounded combination of dance pop, pop rock, and ballads, including a reimagined version of her mega hit, Lost in Your Eyes. So for you 80s pop fans, something big to look forward to from this new one from Debbie Gibson. Reissues, we've got one from Winger, the self-titled. This one is coming on 180-gram green vinyl, and it's a limited edition from Friday Music, and they're calling this an audiophile release as well. Another one coming out on Friday is from the prog rock group Cactus, and this is called The Birth of Cactus, 1970. It is on purple vinyl, and it comes from, well, Purple Pyramid Records. Our description says this is a stunning, historic, vintage live show that's been unearthed from the archives of the very first public performance by the classic rock heroes Cactus, appearing at that time on a bill with the Jimi Hendrix Experience, the Grateful Dead, and the Steve Miller Band. So this is where it all began for the quartet dubbed the American Led Zeppelin. And again, this is available on purple vinyl. We've got another new reissue coming from Music on Vinyl, so you know that this sounds very nice as well. This is a reissue of the Jackson 5 ABC. It's coming on limited edition 180-gram black vinyl, although it doesn't say just how limited, but Music on vinyl does tend to limit these releases a little bit. So in 1968, the Jackson 5 signed with Motown Records and became the first group to debut with 4 consecutive #1 hits on the Billboard Top 100, including ABC. And that single is featured on this self-titled album, which was originally released in 1970. The other hit single, by the way, is The Love You Save, is also included on this album. So lots of great stuff headed to an independent record store near you this coming Friday. Make sure you get out and check them out. Ken will be back next week, and we'll take a look at that week's releases on the next record show. Back in mid-December of last year, an album was released called Cinnamon Girl, Women Artists Cover Neil Young for Charity. Now, when I saw this on our pre-order sheets, I was a little uncertain. I'm not the biggest Neil Young fan. Don't get me wrong, I like his stuff. He's just not one of my go-tos when I'm spinning. However, I am a sucker for great cover versions. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the term cover music with regards to albums, that's when an artist or group covers someone else's music. In this case, a bunch of different women artists covering Neil Young tunes. Now, for me at least, cover music is most excellent when it finds a new direction or takes a new take on a song that's been around for years. In the case of Neil Young, these have been around for a long time, and these are all fresh takes of his music. What makes this album extra interesting, though, is the fact that it is a charity album. A good portion of the proceeds of the sale of this record go to a group called Casting for Recovery. Now, this provides healing outdoor retreats for women with breast cancer at no cost to the participants. These retreats are open to women with breast cancer of all ages and in all stages of treatment and recovery. They've been going for over 25 years and have benefited women from all walks of life. Now, what kind of retreats, might you ask? Casting for Recovery should give you that name. This helps women recover from breast cancer and breast cancer surgery by taking them fly fishing. Now, I was scratching my head when I first heard this as well, but really it does make sense. According to their website, the healing program is unique because for women who have had surgery or radiation as part of their breast cancer treatment, the gentle motion of fly casting and fly fishing can be good physical therapy for increasing mobility in the arms and upper body. You couple that with the emotional benefits of connecting with nature, and they call this stuff powerful medicine. So Casting for Recovery's retreats are unconventional, but they're described by many women as life-changing. And quite frankly, there's nothing more therapeutic than getting out and enjoying the great outdoors, especially if you can do so on a nice river on a nice, calm summer afternoon. Now, musically speaking, Cinnamon Girl covers a lot of bases. The artists on this include Tanya Donnelly, Katie York, Lori McKenna, Jill Sobule, Veruca Salt is on here, as is Carmen Townsend, Eurotrash Girl, Luff, Elk City, the Watson Twins, Cindy Wheeler, and Heidi Gluck. Now, all of these are some of Neil Young's biggest songs. And as I said, it's refreshing to hear this, all-female take on some of his best music. Our pressing information on this says that it's been limited to 1,000 copies worldwide. It's a double LP, and what's really cool is that the first is really neat looking orange, and the second is this very colorful, calming blue. So if you're into refreshing covers of Neil Young music, I'm really digging this, by the way, look for Cinnamon Girl, Women Artists Cover Neil Young for Charity. And remember, a portion of the purchase of this album goes to Casting for Recovery. You can get more information on that nonprofit by heading to castingforrecovery.org. Last week, during our store's anniversary celebration, we had a customer ask if there were any records that have been around on our shelves since the store had opened 5 years ago. And of course, the answer is yes. Just about any record store you go to is going to have their fair share of clunkers that just sit on the shelves and are less desirable for one reason or another. But that got me thinking, there is a way through Discogs for me to tell technically what album has been on our shelves the longest. It's a function within the Discogs database that allows you to sort your collection by various different ways. Now, I'm using the desktop version of Discogs. This works a lot better than the mobile version for lots of other things, including viewing your entire collection and reorganizing it so you can see things in different ways. Within the dashboard, click on the Collection tab, and that takes you to the overall listing of everything in your collection. Now, I use folders to help organize subsets of the collection. We'll cover folders, the hows and the whys, on a later episode. But inside of my For Sale folder, or if you're looking at your collection and you have just the main batch of everything, you can look at the top of your collection and see that there are listings for artist, title, label, year, and format. Clicking on any of those allows you to reorganize based on ascending or descending order, whether you're going alphabetical by the artist, alphabetical, or reversed by the title. The labels, you can group everything from a certain label you'd like. The year that it was released, now that does depend if the year has been attached to the release or you're working with something from an unknown year. You can also organize by format. So say you've got CDs or cassettes or reel-to-reel or any of the other various formats that show up in the Discogs database. Now in my collection, I normally have things organized by the added date. But if I wanted to find what's been in this folder the longest, all I have to do is click on that added date again, and that gives me this in descending order, meaning that the oldest item in our inventory is the Everly Brothers, Born Yesterday. And that looks like it was added just over 5 years ago, right around the time that we opened the store, just over 5 years ago. Making this album by the Everly Brothers, technically speaking, the album that's been sitting on our record store shelves the longest. Oh, come on, it's sealed and it's only $5. Somebody's got to want this. Thanks for watching The Record Show. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe to the Radio Wasteland Records YouTube channel. And be sure to hit that notifications bell so you'll be alerted every time we upload new content.